My video for March 23rd, 2018 is entitled, "There Are No Forests on Earth." True or false, I ask. A very good friend sent me a video with that title. Seriously. Now, I'd be one of the first to admit that we have most likely been deceived throughout our lives going back multiple generations. Our so-called leaders lie to us all the time, or haven't you noticed yet? It doesn't even matter what field we are talking about, or in this case, what forests. Of course, there has been much deforestation around the world. That is sad, especially when there is no plan to save the wildlife in many cases. It's slash and burn. That's the corporate insanity. But that's not what this video, not mine, but the one sent to me by my friend that I will include the link to in the comments when I post this. I have now watched that 1 hour and 17-minute video 3 times. I resisted even talking about it because of the way it ends. I have not considered the flat earth theory anything other than pure nonsense. After all, I flew over Earth from the USA's Melbourne, Florida, to Australia's Melbourne, Victoria. Earth did not seem flat to me. Nevertheless, I have to consider what is presented in this video produced in the original by a Russian scientist and presented by a lady who speaks clear English for people like me. It's mind-boggling. Yes, as I said, if this had not come to me from somebody that I knew personally and someone that I absolutely was convinced is a friend, not somebody that's just playing a role, but somebody that has actually demonstrated friendship to me for an extended period of time, I would have dismissed it probably right away. But it came to me from a source that I have found to be trustworthy in many respects. So I took the time to watch it and commented to that individual after watching it that I was really put off by the flat earth comments at the end of the video, which she believes is 50% of the truth that we need to get through our heads. And I don't know if that's her comment, that is the person who's speaking English, or the person who she's translating from the Russian to make it more clear. I don't know the logistics of that, and what I'm going to post, the link that I'm going to post, of course, is the link to the English version spoken by the lady who is helping make it clearer for those of us that don't understand the English of a Russian who speaks with a very hard accent, I guess, from what I'm told. In any case, the other thing that challenged me besides the flat earth in this video was that it claims there was a major war in the early 18th century, like or that would be what? That would be the 19th century, wouldn't it? Yeah, I said 18th in my note here, but it's actually the 19th century. 1810. There was an extended winter. There was no summer that year because of the explosions, the atomic explosions that had taken place, creating great chasms in the earth and things like that. And the whole gist of the movie, what is believable, is that some of the so-called rock formations that we see on Earth have all of the characteristics, not of something that was generated by natural things, but by some kind of war, because they have the structure the structure of living organisms, but yet silica organisms, not carbon-based organisms like we have now, but silica-based. And that's the whole point. There are no silica forests anymore, but apparently the Earth at one time, now I'm not saying that that's in the modern era, shall we say, but at some point in time, going back thousands of years, everything was silica-based, not carbon-based. And the cutting apparatus was obviously very different. The technology for cutting things would have been very different with the silica-based trees, for example, and vegetation. None of the silica-based trees exist anymore. That's the whole thing. There are no silica forests anymore. Now, of course, it doesn't say that in the title, but that's where it's going. And I invite those of you who are curious, as I am now, pondering these things. Again, I've watched the video 3 times. And because my friend sort of pulled back when I expressed skepticism over the flat earth thing. She was the first one, and I didn't mean to specify a gender, but it is a lady that introduced me to many things over the course of time that I've explored. And she, like me, is an explorer. She looks at things outside the box. And she, I think, was the first one to tell me about the flat earth thing. That made me at least look at it. And if those of you that have watched my videos regularly for over a period of time, you know that at one point I took the globe down that's behind me because I was exploring. But then when I came to the conclusion that the flat earth theory was nonsense, I put the globe back up. And I still show the part that has Indonesia, because I was part of Swiss Indo, and Australia, because I was part of the Australian delegation. And actually, that's why I went and visited friends that were part of the Swiss Indo delegation, the Australian delegation to Swiss Indo. I went and I visited them. And I also wanted to meet the Seekers, which I've told that in other videos. I didn't get to meet them, but I did get to meet Judith Durham's sister. In any case, folks, there are lots of things that need further explanation and further research. And I have to empty myself continuously, obviously, if I'm going to be able to accept something new that is more uplifting in the sense that it's going to liberate humanity from the deception of our so-called leaders. And apparently some of them at some point in time must have been very big, because the trees and stuff like that were very big. You need to watch the video. It'll raise questions for you if you spend the time, as I did, actually watching it. Now, lots of videos that I hear, receive, I listen to them. I don't like to sit in front of the computer screen and actually have to watch something. But because there was so much that she was referring to that needed me to pay attention to what was being shown, I had to watch. So I encourage you, try to keep an open mind, as I'm trying to do myself, and see what you think. And we've got to work together to try to come up with some solutions for the insanity of our world. We need to restore our hope, our faith, not in some perceived or told history or religion or anything like that, but we need to restore faith in each other, that we really are decent beings created for good, not for evil. Anyway, folks, I do appreciate you taking time to listen, and look forward to reading the comments on this one. Thank you. Namaste.